Now, as promised in the previous lecture, here we are to explore Google Speech-to-Text API using C# and Windows Forms. The first thing that we need to do after creating the project, as you can see over here, we need to install a couple of SDK or libraries using manage NuGet packages. So here, the one which you need to install is google.apis.storage.v1 and the other one is google.cloud.speech v1. Now when you will be selecting this, you might see that this is the latest version coming up, but I've used 1.3.1. Reason being 1.3.1 is for .NET Framework version 4.5, and if you select version 2, you'll notice that this is for version 4.6.1. So based on that, you can choose the specific version and install it. I'll be going with 1.3.1. So once you have installed Google Cloud Speech v1 and the other storage v1 NuGet packages, after that you need to go to this program.cs file that you've created at your end in your project, and pretty much in the main function that you see over here, we are doing a couple of things. First is we're logging things so that you can track the progress of the whole transcription process. The first thing that we do is we take any file, any audio or video file, and we are converting it into MP3 file format. Reason being that there are very few formats which are being supported in a good way by Google Speech-to-Text API, FLAC being one of them, and then we have MP3. So if you have multiple different extensions of media types that you want to transcribe, I would recommend converting them to a single file format and then sending the same to Google Speech-to-Text. Here, as you can see, we are converting M4A file to MP3. Now this also requires that you convert it into a mono format. So here, to convert to MP3, we are making use of nreco video converter.ffmpeg converter. So this is a wrapper basically for ffmpeg library in C#. And using that, you have this method which says convert media. You can see we have passed the file path. Null is over here for input format, which you can leave null by default, it will pick it up automatically. Then this is the file name, the MP3 file name that you want, and then the file format in which you want to convert it. We will be converting it to MP3. Then we have this convert settings, and here we are passing custom input arguments. The argument over here says that audio coding or audio codec should be mono. So the value 1 depicts mono and 2 depicts stereo. So that is being passed over here, and then the file is converted to MP3. We have just a small class which is storing the file name and frame rate, and the same is being then passed to the calling method. So here the variable that we have, flag path, is basically containing a file name as well as the frame rate. Now before sending it for transcription, as I mentioned in my earlier lectures, that Google Transcribe makes it mandatory to upload files which are larger in size to Google Storage, and then from there you need to pass the Google Storage URI to the transcribe method. Here we need to first of all upload the file to Google Storage. So we are doing that in this method upload file. So here, if you see, we are making use of the client secret.json file. Now this is the file that we created in part 1 of this series. The thing that we are doing over here is we are verifying ourselves by making use of Google credential, and once that's done, we are making use of the storage client.create method. We pass this credential, so Google Cloud Storage knows that we are authorized to do this operation, and then we are simply reading the local file and uploading it to our storage. So here my bucket name is GS storage, and once the file has been uploaded, we'll get this complete upload process written in our log files, and then we are simply returning the result. Now once this result has been returned, you'll notice the method that we have written over here auto transcribe basically tries to create a Google storage URI. So we are saying GS and then the bucket name and the name of the file. Then we are passing in which language you want the transcription. Over here we are saying English. This is the name of the audio file or the file which will contain the transcript generated, and as mentioned earlier, this is the frame rate. So now we'll go to the Crux auto transcribe method. Here also you'll notice, first of all, we have to verify ourselves using the client secret.json file. So we are creating Google credential.from stream, and then this is the stream that we are passing over here. Once you have authorized, then you can go ahead, create a channel over here. So we're creating a channel instance saying var channel equals new channel, and then we are passing speech client dot default endpoint dot host and default port and then 2 channel credentials. Once we have the channel, this channel is then passed to speech client dot create method. Now we have a speech instance. Using this, we are running long running job. So what we're trying to do is, let's say you have an hour-long file. You will be requiring this configuration, long running recognize. If it's a smaller file size, then obviously you can do away with this, but this is the recommended way to process actual production size audio video files. So here what we are doing is we are saying speech dot long running recognize, and then over here we are passing some configuration, recognition configuration. Now this is, the first thing is encoding, that is recognition config dot types dot audio encoding dot encoding unspecified. This is specifically for MP3 version. Then we have the sample rate hertz to 44,100. The same was passed from this method as well, into frame rate. And use enhanced is the enhanced version of the machine learning that Google speech to text API uses. We have automatic punctuation, so you will get full stop, comma, and all those kind of things in your transcript. And then we have this diarization config, where we are saying enable speaker diarization to true. Remember, this one is in beta, and what we have observed when we run the transcription a couple of times, the speaker tags were coming up with different numbers. So sometimes it started with 1, sometimes it started with speaker 0, and then all the way to the number of speakers that were involved in the audio file. So that's something which you have to take care of when you're making use of this diarization config. More or less, it's close to the number of speakers, so it does detect, but it has got some limitations as well as of now. Then we have this metadata. So we are saying that this is the audio type that we are sending, and the MIME type is audio/MP3. And obviously over here, this is the language code. By default, we are just passing English. So here, if you see, what we have done is for different languages, like if I'm passing English, this one provides me the code for it. So if you see United States, it says EN-US in caps. So that is the language code which we pass to the recognition config over here. And then you can see this line over here which says recognition audio dot from storage URI. So we are passing the Google storage URI over here. And finally, this is the long operation dot poll until completed. So this is a process which will keep on running, and once the transcription is completed 100%, then you will be coming over here, response equals long operation dot result. Now this is something which I've done at my end to keep a map of the file path and the long operation name, so that I can process multiple files, knowing which file has been returned, and accordingly store it in the database. So here, once we have the response with us, you can see that we are creating an instance of a string builder transcript variable, and then looping through all the result sets that we have, and then inside that we will get the alternatives. Now for each alternative we have confidence level, transcript itself, and the total number of words. Here we are looping through each word. We are simply displaying that word, at what time it's starting, ending, And if there is a speaker tag, then we are trying to find that as well. And this is something which we are trying to generate, like a transcript which says speaker 0 and then the text to speaker 1, then the text. So that kind of information is being created over here. And finally, the text is being written over here. As you can see, transcript.append, then the speaker, then the value of the speaker like 0, 1, and here the whole transcript will come. Finally, we are doing it over here completely and then creating the transcript file. So transcript is being created over here. We are just passing the string builder and we are saying that just create a JSON file with this name that we have passed and write whatever content has been passed to you in the transcript variable, and finally you get the log message saying writing complete. So now if I show you the file that we have generated, over here you can see this is the value coming up, speaker 0, and then the transcript. Similarly, you can see all these contents are coming up. This was a quite long file that we tested out, and you can see all the speaker counts coming up along with the transcript or the message that they were speaking. Okay, so that's all about the Google speech to text API. Hope you enjoyed this lecture. Stay tuned for more lectures like this.